Hello and welcome to Movie Monetization Playbook in Nollywood. My name is Dr. Ope Banwo, and I want to welcome you to the very first session of our Movie Monetization Playbook in Nollywood. And in this session one of the 10-session series, we're going to be talking about strategies for pre-selling your movies before you even produce them. Oh yes, strategies are for for pre-selling your movies before you even make them. Because monetization, which is one of the stuff I've been talking about a lot, and all of us need to go learn. I'm not claiming to be an expert yet, but I feel that we need to do a lot more research. We need to be a lot more experimental. We need to try a lot more things in order for us to be able to make ends meet in this new era that we have found ourselves, this era of globalization of content, digitalization of different platforms. We are no longer in the Alava era. We are now in the digital era where you have to look for different ways to be able to make money from your movie. Because to almost everybody now, you are not going to make your profits from just going to the cinemas and from there going to YouTube. That is why 10% of movie makers right now are making profits, because we are all not vast on the issues of the new age monetization for our movies. And recently I was invited to a forum by the National Film and Video Censors Board to do a training or to speak on the issue of monetization in the age of, I think that's the topic right there, how Nollywood can turn creativity into sustainable profit in the age of digital platforms, streaming wars, and content mobilization. And unfortunately, I was given only 20 minutes to speak at that event, so it was not enough to really do anything. In fact, I was given 10 minutes to speak and then 10 minutes for question and answer, which obviously is not going to do anything. I had to rush, and I really couldn't make much sense of what I was saying. So I decided on my own that I'm going to do a full-blown training preceded by months of research, talking to people, getting case studies of what is working and what is not working. Even the ones that I have not yet tried myself, but that I know is working out there, that I know that people are doing. So in this series, I'm in the place of a professor, a teacher. I'm not trying to give you any impression that I've mastered all of them. Some of them I've never tried myself, because we are all trying to learn this monetization together. But I decided I'm going to take a few months. I'm going to research, because that's an area that really, really interests me, because I'm a digital marketing specialist myself, not necessarily in movies. I've been making money online, millions of dollars, literally, without exaggerating, millions of dollars annually in sales online, in marketing online. That is my number one job apart from my law practice. And I even make more money in my digital business than I make in my law office. So I'm sort of a digital expert, but I decided now we should focus on Nollywood and movie monetization and marketing as a way of being able to help many of us out there who are stranded right now. We make movies, but we make no money. We keep struggling. We keep trying our best. Now we are all rushing to YouTube, but even the YouTube, less than 1% is really making profit, because it is totally underutilized, where many people are counting on views when there's like 12 other ways to make money on YouTube. So we all need to learn it. So that's the whole underpinning of this whole training series. And I want to encourage you. They're going to be very thorough training series. I don't do half-hearted stuff, so that you want to take your time. And that's why I'm breaking it into a segment. It's going to be 10 sessions. This session one, we're going to be talking about one strategy. Then I'm going to teach you to the best of my knowledge. And then we come for session two. So let's get started. Let's first tell the truth to ourselves, okay, before we get started. Talent is no longer the problem. Creativity is not the problem, even though that's what we still spend a lot of our time organizing events on, organizing conferences on, organizing festivals on. Creativity is not our problem. Talent is not our problem. The problem is monetization, is how to make money with the movies that we are making. if we all really sit down and look at it, Nollywood doesn't have a problem of producing movies. We don't have that problem because right now we make more than 2,500 movies a year. More than 2,500 movies a year. I even wrote a book about it. That book is called One Country, 2,500 Movies a Year. As you can see right there in the book, we make a lot of movies a year. So creativity is not a problem, and talent is not a problem. Our problem is monetization. How do we turn this thing to money? And the sooner we understand that that is our number one issue, we are going to keep floundering. Because as long as your movies are not making profit, we can't progress. People just come in, they invest, they lose money, and they disappear again. The unsuspecting ones come again, they invest money, they lose money, they run. It's not sustainable the way we are running our movies now, and we need to get much better. Nollywood people are some of the most creative human beings on earth, as far as I'm concerned, who can make movies almost out of nothing. We can shoot a movie with nothing but stress, vibes, and a borrowed camera. But creativity without structured monetization is not destiny. It is stress packaged as passion. That is my own view of this, as somebody who has been involved in that industry in one form or the other. The world has changed. Distribution has changed. Audiences have changed. Platforms have changed. But in many ways, Nollywood's profit model is still behaving as if we're in 2005. So tonight, I'm not here to just impress you with theories. I'm here to break this thing down in a way that every producer, every director, every actor, every editor, and influencer who is watching this in this room with me right now can use it to start cashing out in real life if they dare to implement it, not just clapping at conferences where we spend 3 days conferences about our industry and we reserve only 20 minutes to talk about monetization when most of people in that hall are not making any profit. We are talking about camera. We are talking about how to write a story. See, that's our problem in Hollywood. So please indulge me. I'm going to share over the next 15 sessions. I call it the 15-pillar blueprint for sustainable profit in the new digital film economy. I've actually written a book on it. The book is coming out very soon, but I'm going to be training from that book. And I want to encourage you to get that book. It's called the Nollywood Monetization Playbook. I'm going to be posting the links to get it. But it's a 15-pillar, I call it the 15-pillar blueprint for sustainable profit with your movies in the new digital film economy. And today, on this video, we are going to be dealing with the first one of those 15 pillars. And this one is how to pre-sell your movie before you produce it. Most don't even think about that. But that is where your monetization starts. That is where you are losing money from, because 90% of those who are doing movies, at least that I speak to, because I've not polled everybody in Nollywood, the ones I speak to, more than 90% of them don't even think about pre-selling their movie before they sell it. All they are all running around looking for is the money to make the movie. And I'm saying that is the very first pillar of starting to get some of your money. Remember, you are not likely to get all your profit in one place now. This is no longer Alaba days where you give your movie to an Alaba merchant and you know that at the end of the day, by the time they sell it, cut it, divide it into 4 parts and do their thing, you will still be able to make some money at the end. Those days are gone. Now you are going to be making little money here, little money here, little money here until your money completes and you make massive profit. So the very first pillar, because out of the 15 pillars I'm going to share, okay, some of you only need 2 or 3 pillars to make your money. I'm not saying you have to implement all 15 pillars before you are going to be profitable, but it's a potpourri of opportunities now. You have to combine several income generating opportunities to be able to make massive profit and live the kind of life entertainers live. You see how actors, producers, and all those people, we see how they live in America. Why can't we live like that in Nigeria if the money is coming in? But we are not. Most of our actors are not living in posh houses. Most of our producers are not living in the best houses. Why? Because they're not making the best money. And we should, because entertainment is one of the most rewarding industries out there. So the first pillar we're going to be talking about today is how to pre-sell your movies before you even produce it. How to monetize your movie before you shout action. See, monetize your movie before you even get to the production lot. That is one of the amazing pillars that is out there that I want everybody to follow this particular video on. So let's get to it real quickly. Before we talk distribution pyramids, before we talk YouTube strategy or global dubbing, let's first tell ourselves the hard truth. Most Nollywood producers are still shooting 20 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million movies with zero monetization plan. They finish editing, post fine BTS pictures, then start doing night vigil and crying online when the film tanks. That is not production. That is gambling with a camera. In 2025, the restarting point should be pre-production monetization. Learning how to sell the movie before you even go to the set to go and sell it. And I want you to think like an importer. A serious fish trader does not import a full container of fish and then start shouting, "Who won't buy fish at the port?" Before the ship lands, he has probably spoken to bulk buyers. He will have logged in some supermarkets and cold rooms who will take bulk of this fish. He will have negotiated payment terms with many of them. Some of them will have paid maybe half or even the full money in advance, so that by the time the fish arrives, it's already half sold. And before they clear it in the port, it is fully sold. That is how your film budget should be. Same way you see real estate people all the time. They have a building idea, they get an architect to design it, and they sell it off plan. They sell the flats, they sell the lots before they even put one block on the site. Why can't we do the same in the movie industry? Why can't we pre-sell a movie before we make it? It is possible. It is being done in other industries. And that is why the first pillar I'm talking about is how to pre-sell your production before you make it. You need to monetize your movie before you produce it. So I call it pre-production monetization. So your question is, of course, what do I mean by pre-production monetization? Well, what it really means is that you pre-monetize it by locking in cash, commitments, or guaranteed audiences before the principal shooting starts. I'm going to say that again. You lock in cash, commitments, guaranteed audiences, sponsorship money before the principal shooting starts on the set. You are not waiting for cinema. You are not waiting for Netflix. You are not waiting for one miracle platform before you start making some money on your movie. You are stacking different revenue commitments in advance so that a large percentage of your budget is already covered on paper before your camera rolls. Sometimes not just on paper, in your bank account before you even go to the set, so that you are not going to be put in a situation where your movie comes out and then you are looking for all your money from that point. Why must pre-production monetization come first? Because it de-risks your project. In other words, it removes risk from your project. Investors will relax when they see money already being spoken for, either from commitment of those who are going to distribute it, either from sponsors whose products are going to be put in the movies, and all that. You lock in commitments, you lock in cash. Your investors that you approach with that, if you tell them we already got pre-commitment from this place, from that place, we have guaranteed audience for this, for that, you have it on paper for him, they'll be it reduces the risk of the investor investing in your project. Number two reason why you do this It forces you to think business at the script stage of your movie. Even if your pre-production monetization is not very good at the end, but it forces you to think about the business of the movie. Because one of the things we are missing in Nollywood, we don't think the business of movies. We think about making movies all the time. But if you do a pre-production monetization plan, it forces you to think about the business of your movie. So you design your film around audiences and buyers, not just vibes. You'll be able to design your set around sponsors. You'll be able to design even your script. You'll be able to amend it, adjust it to be fitted for audiences and buyers, not just vibes, not just the fun of it. Another reason why pre-production monetization is very essential for you to do before you start your movie is that it attracts serious partners, brands, NGOs, platforms. They all respect producers who come with a monetization blueprint, not begging bowls. I'm an investor myself. There's nothing that disgusts me more now than for a producer to call me and say, I need 50 million to do a movie. This movie is going to change Nigeria, but they have no plan for how I make my money back. You talk to them for 5 minutes, you realize that all they're interested in is the money to go make the movie. They've not thought about how that money is going to come back. It's always as if it's a surprise to them. When you now want your money back with interest on it, then you become the bad guy. So when a producer calls me now, he has no monetization plan. I want to see his pre-production monetization. I want to see at least 3 or 4 out of the 12 monetization strategies that I'm going to be teaching here to let me understand that this person is thinking about the business of this movie. It's not just about shooting movie for art's sake. He's shooting the movie as a business. If you want to shoot movie for art's sake, then go look for donations in advance. And even that's part of your pre-production monetization. Go do that. Even if you are going to monetize your movie, if you are going to sell your movie, what is wrong with getting donation in advance? So that is what I mean by pre-production monetization. But let's look at 10 practical ways, because it's one thing to say, oh, go do pre-monetization. Some of you are asking me right now as I'm watching this, what the heck is this guy talking about? What does it mean? Pre-production monetization. How am I going to do it? Okay, I've had you. You say I should lock in commitment. I should get some guaranteed audience. I should get commitment to the movie before I go and produce it. Fine. But how the heck do I do it, Mr. Ope Banwo? Let me tell you, I'm going to share 10 different ways for you to monetize. And these 10 ways is 10 ways to monetize your movie before you shoot it. This is the first pillar. Remember, we are talking about 12 pillars 15 pillars in the end. On this pillar number 1, I want to share with you 10 practical ways that you can monetize your movie before you shoot it. And then, of course, out of those 10 practical ways, I'm going to encourage you to experiment. Some will work, some will not work for you. But the important thing is that for you to start experimenting. Some of them might take you 2 or 3 times of trying before it works for you. But the important thing is that you know what you don't know. Now you know what you need to do. The question now is, are you doing it? So the first thing, of course, is the brand and story alignment. If your story touches real issues like fraud, youth unemployment, mental health, elections, health, corruption, insecurity, especially now in Nigeria, that's a big thing. There are brands and NGOs who already spend money on that problem. In case you didn't understand that. Right now, there are NGOs and companies who are spending money on health, corruption issues, elections, health, insecurity, so many other things. So your pre-monetization move here will be you develop a short deck plus treatment showing how your film supports the message of that NGO. It's called brand and NGO story alignment. You do that before you go to set. That is all going to be part of your scripting. And then you think about, so part of your pre-monetization move here is you offer sponsorship packages like logo in your film, co-branded screenings, panel discussions, staff training screenings that dovetails with your story. And then you can price in tiers, which is what I recommend. You have a gold package, a silver package, and a bronze package, so that different budgets from different companies can plug in. Take one of the movies that we just watched recently as a bestseller, The Herd. I don't know whether they had a pre-production monetization strategy, but if they had done that, they probably would have gotten governments to tie in with their, because their stories about kidnapping and the insecurity. One of the insecurity wars we are fighting, which is the kidnapping for ransom, one of the 4 insecurity wars that we're fighting in Nigeria, that, according to my training, okay, he could have got a lot of his money, if not all of it, in advance. He could have partnered with governments. He could have partnered with churches. Churches will be more than willing to put in money to that kind of project, especially if it connects it to kidnap of some Christians and the killing of some Christians, which is really what is happening right now. And he approaches the right churches, all those churches that are very aggressive about protecting Christian rights. The Oyedepo Church is Redeemed, Ibiyome. There are many churches around. Or you might be saying, well, how will I get in touch with Oyedepo? You'll be surprised how easy it is. If you write a letter and say, I'm making a movie that is going to expose how Christians are getting killed by kidnappers in the north, blah, blah, blah. And in that movie, we will show how some Christians were killed. And then we can even tie in some of the preachings of the pastor, or some of the comments of the pastor on this issue into our movie. You put that in a letter, you send it to Canaan Land, you might be surprised they'll call you for a meeting. Or Redeem is one million of them around. You don't have to meet that the Geo. There's strong Redeemed churches out there that will give you some money. 1 million, 10 million, 5 million, 50 million, before you know, your money is complete. That is on a movie like that. Or approach your state government, your local government, your federal government, wherever you can reach. But it is thinking about it that you'll be surprised by the time you sit down and pen those down. Then you start asking, who knows this person, who knows this person? That is what is called pre-production monetization. It may take you a couple of months. It may take you 3 months. It may take you 6 months. But you will have finished raising your money before you go on set, plus your profit. So that now you are shooting clearly, you're able to shoot a better movie with less stress. And ultimately, of course, you're going to be profitable if you've got a lot of money in advance. You can easily cover 30 to 70% of your budget, if not more, before you shoot, just from aligning sponsors and NGOs with your project. It's just a question of sitting down. It's just a question of sitting down to think about it. Sorry about that. My timer went off. Okay. So we are talking about this brand and NGO story alignment as a pre-production monetization strategy. And you can go on, if you are making a movie, for instance, that has to do with children or youth unemployment or fraud. So you have to look at the central focus of your movie. There are NGOs and there are guilds, there are organizations that their only reason for being in existence is to help that institution, that industry that you just mentioned, whether it's mental health, whether it's elections, whether it is health, whether it's corruption, youth unemployment, insecurity, religion. It don't matter. You sit down and begin to, that's why you then do your pre-production monetization meeting with your consultants or with your staff. Who are the people that would like to support this kind of thing? Who are the kind of organizations that support this type of project? And then you make a list, you make a plan, you write your proposal, and you chase it down. And that can help you to cover a big chunk of your production budget, pre-production. Another pre-production selling strategy. We are still on pillar number 1. Remember, we are talking about 10 different ways you can pre-sell your movie before you produce it, just like the real estate people do, where they pre-sell their buildings off plan before they carry one block. They've gotten commitment for almost 100% of it. Number 2 here is CSR and government program partnerships. Government and agencies run campaigns on security, youth empowerment, anti-drugs, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, voter education. They do a lot of stuff they sponsor on their side. Your pre-monetization move here, your pre-production monetization move here will be you map 3 to 10 agencies. Parastatals. I don't know why this thing keeps disappearing. Let me try to make sure it stays on screen so that there can be alignment with what I'm saying here. Okay. Yes, we are talking about CSR and government partnerships as one of your pre-production monetization strategy. You map out 3 to 10 agencies or parastatals whose mandate your story reinforces. If you are doing something that has to do with youth unemployment in the story, you know you are looking for empowerment organizations, NGOs, and federal government agencies that deal with youth unemployment. If it is anti-drugs, you know you are looking for agencies and companies and organizations that has to do with anti-drugs, even drug companies. If it is entrepreneurship, you are looking for agencies, parastatals, and organizations that support entrepreneurship. And then you position the film as a campaign tool. No, don't go there and say, just please help my movie. That's disgusting. You are just going there to beg. You are running a business. When you are approaching them, you are saying that we would like to use this movie as part of your campaign too. It's not going to change your story. Remember, you already have your story. All you are not doing is helping to working parts that the agencies that will support what the agencies are doing. Sometimes it can be just having a scene where somebody from that organization comes in to talk about the issue of their agency that is resonant with the story. The story won't change, but you can work them in. Your script writers, yourself, they can tell you what they need. It can simply be showing their logo. It may be part of your story is, oh, they are doing an outreach in one place, and then your character is going in there to do something so that you are able to showcase their work. And then you can also pre-sell bulk licenses and screenings to them. You can pre-sell bulk licenses and screenings through this strategy with schools, NYSC camps, town halls, civil service, community centers. If your story resonates with something that those agencies are interested in, you can work out a deal. For instance, like NYSC, let's say your story has something to do with the copper or with the copper life or something to do with copper. You can approach them for them to sponsor your movie, give you a little money, that when it comes out, you do a special screening for youth coppers at their camps for them. It's called CSR and government partnership program, government program partnerships. Again, your pre-production monetization movies, you want to list about 3 to 10 agencies or parastatals whose mandate reinforces the story that you are telling in your movie. And then you position the movie as a campaign tool, not a let's come and help my movie. So you have to sit down. How can your movie be used as a campaign tool for them? And then you approach them. It's one letter, you draft one, that's what you give to the same agency, to those 10 agencies, just change the name, and somebody chases them down. It is when you are thinking you have to do all this work that you feel overwhelmed. You hire 2 monetization managers for your production. You don't have to pay them a lot of money. You can pay them percentage, pay them a little money plus percentage of money they raise, and let them be the one doing the running up and down. So 3 months before you're shooting, you could do all of that, or 2 months, depending on how long or how much you want to raise and how smooth you work. The result of this is that you're not begging. You are offering cinema plus public education in one package. So it's a win-win for everybody. When they see that you are helping them to promote their work, they are more likely to listen to you more than when you just write a letter or we're making a movie, we want you to donate something. They don't be asking for that. Don't be saying, come and help my movie. Tell them how your movie is a campaign tool for them, how your movie is going to promote what they are promoting. And then it's like they're paying advert money instead of going to go take adverts in the newspaper. Now, depending on how you explain how far your movie is going to go, then they see it as if they are buying an advert in your movie, even though it's not an advert. It's going to be worked into your production. So that's number 2 way for you to pre-sell your movie before you make them. Strategy number 3 that you can use to pre-sell your movie before you make them is the faith, what I call the faith and community screening bundles strategy. In this strategy number 3, under pillar number 1, remember we're still talking about the first pillar, how to presell your movie before you make them. Okay. On this pillar number, on this strategy number 3, under pillar number 1, I call it faith and community screening bundles. If your film has a strong moral, faith, family, or redemptive themes, which is why you should be thinking along those lines, don't just write a script for script's sake. You got to tell your script writer. It's got to have a strong moral, faith, family, or redemptive theme. You have to tell you which one of those you want to focus on. Churches, mosques, and faith organizations can become your prepaid screening partners. Your pre-production monetization move here will be you design a church or mosque screening kits. Okay, where you are going to be talking about licensing plus distribution guide plus poster and social assets. And then you offer these bundles. Okay, something like 50 congregations may pay a fixed fee for early access, maybe per church. Let's say you have to go work with a redeem. Let's say something that has a strong faith angle to it that will help them to save souls and all of that stuff. And you negotiate with them. It might be for each church might have a fixed fee to come and do the screening in their church free for everybody. That's one strategy. Or you can give them a great deal that you want to show them, and they can pay so much per 20 members that come, so that they can then pre-sell it to their church members if they want to sell it. Or it can be joint premiere, where you are doing the premiere along with the church of your movie in one of their churches, as a way for everybody to come in there. So they pay you for that premiere thing. Like I said, it's not going to be a lot of money. You're not going to make all your money from one source. But this is just some of the ways you lock down some money before you have to go. So the result of this for you is that you can pre-sell dozens of screenings as part of spiritual or community engagement before you go on set. If he has a strong faith in, your objective might be you want to lock down 20 churches to do the screenings on when it comes out. If he has to do with Muslim, you go to mosque. If he has to do with other things in the society, you lock down those screenings. It is not hard. The question is, are you going to have the liver to even try? Many don't try at all. And that is the problem. You just raise money, or somebody gives you money to make a movie, and then just rush to set. You finish the movie, and then you are now whispering. A number 4 strategy under this pillar number 1, which is to pre-sell your movie before you make them, is the diaspora and association pre-bookings. Yeah, that might look like, what is he talking about? But think about it for a minute. Remember again, I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you. Some of them, it may look practical to you. Some of them may not look practical until you try them. But all these strategies I'm recommending is as a result of serious research and seeing case studies in the full, because I'm going to be running a whole 6-week class just on the pre-monetization thing. So this 11 sessions I'm going to be talking about is introducing each of those sessions. It's an expansive stuff. So on this one, Diaspora and Association pre-bookings, African diaspora and ethnic associations are constantly looking for content that reflects home. So your pre-monetization move here will be to approach diaspora associations, student unions, town unions, professional bodies in UK, US, and Canada, and everywhere. And then you pre-sell exclusive early screenings, physical or online, sometimes with a Q&A opportunity and a meet the cast. Imagine if you pre-sell to, let's say, Lincoln University, Nebraska, that we have this movie, and you are approaching the diaspora organizations there, that we are going to make this movie. This movie is going to come out in 3 months. And then one of the deals we want to have is for us to have a pre-screening deal with your members, where we bring it to your school, or where we create a private, which is even will be cheaper for everybody, a private Zoom screening, a private online screening before it goes out in the cinemas for your members. And you only need to give us $1,000, $500. You ask for a reasonable amount of money, because you are talking about institutions, and your goal might be, I want to sign up 20 diaspora organizations. If you're asking for $1,000 to do pre-screening for every one of their members to watch for free, they can pre-sell to their members by themselves. You charge $10, $5, whatever, and charge whatever they want. They make some money, but they pre-commit to pay you 1,500 or 500, for instance. If you get 20 diaspora organizations, that is $20,000 of pre-screen. And if you are doing it by Zoom, it's just a question of setting up Zoom on their own day and then giving them exclusive links for them to get into the place and watch. It may sound like, what is this guy talking about? But have you tried it? Because these are things that I will be trying out for those who want us to help them market their movie. But that's where I'm going. The reason why I'm doing all this extensive research, that's the area I want to be. Movie monetization is where I want to put to bring value to Nollywood. Where we will gather those people, we will write them, we will call them on phone. Before you know it, you can have maybe a list of 100 diaspora that are willing that anytime you have a great movie to come and pre-screen it for them. And they will have two options: to screen it on Zoom or to screen it live in a hall in their school. In which case, all we do is send a copy to them. You don't even have to be there. You have a contact there and give him a percentage of whatever you raise. He can take care of a whole city for you. Think about it. And you get that commitment before the movie is made, so that you have a great idea about accounting for how you are going to be profitable when your movie comes out. So the result of this is that you're building foreign screening revenue, even if no major streamer takes you immediately. Netflix may not take your movie may not even be good enough to go to Netflix. Your cinemas may not take it, or you may not make money in cinemas, but you're building foreign screening revenue yourself because you are doing specific screenings to diaspora and association pre-bookings. That is strategy number 4 on pillar number 1, which is how to pre-sell your movie before you make them. Number 5, platform and territory pre-sales. Think about it. Before you go to the set, before you go and carry one camera or pay one cameraman, you have hustled to try to get some pre-income committed on this one that I call platform and territory pre-sales. Even without your Netflix level deals, you can pre-sell smaller right slices like local AVOD and niche streamers, regional pay-per TV channels, diaspora platforms targeting specific countries or languages. It is to consciously have a list that you chase down. These days is by phone call, by email, and by sending them WhatsApp messages from an office. It may take you a month or two to get enough. You don't have to go to all the big. There's so many regional paper TV channels all over the place. There are so many ad-assisted video on demand, which is the AVOD. Okay, they pay you based on ads that come onto your movie when it's playing. There are literally thousands of them all over the world. You can pre-sell smaller rights to them. Every drop of water makes a mighty ocean eventually. And if you have a dedicated monetization manager, that's their job. That we need to make sure we lock down 20 AVOD partners before we go to set. All you are carrying around is your script and maybe your trailer or a 1-minute clip. That's it. How do you do this? You present a rights map so that you have Nigeria TV, West Africa, Francophone, Africa, UK, diaspora, Caribbeans, and then you lock letters of intent. Let them commit. You draft timesheets for post-release windows that when it comes out, these are the windows that are available for us to get this to you. And they sign letters of intent with you. Yeah, you might not get the money then, but this is part of the pre-monetization we're talking about. So now you know that when your movie comes out, it's going to get to these 10 AVOD channels, or these niche streamers, or these paper TV channels. You have your plan written down. You have your commitments down, so that you're not running around looking for where your money is going to come from after you have made the movie. So the result of this is, on paper, you may have 50 million, 40 million in committed rights before the camera even rolls, which instantly makes investors more comfortable. Because if you go to an investor and say, oh, we already have pre-confirmed rights that these 20 AVOD channels are going to carry us, here is their letter, or here is their email, here is their whatever commitment, and that these organizations are going to carry it when it comes to these paper TV platforms are going to carry it. We have 8 of them. And on the average, this is what we are likely to make based on their own projections. All of that gives you comfort when you are making a presentation to someone like me to say, come and give me 100 million to make a movie. If all of those are in place, it's part of what we talk about, de-risking the project. You can even then go to bank, if you are one of the ones that have liver, to go to bank to say you want to go borrow money to do the movie. The bank can appraise it based on this, your pre-commitments. The words they will tell you is that we will do an agreement that all that money they want to pay you, they pay directly to us, and you're going to say, okay, because you want to pay your bank if you are borrowing money. You tell them we have these 20 sewn up. They want to see the commitment letters. Based on that, they'll tell you, okay, we'll fund a letter to these people. How hard can it be? The question is, do you have the willpower to go for it, or you just want to be talking? You want to be overthinking it, it cannot work. Do you know that the clinical is what you're going to be telling yourself? I know, even as you're watching right now, you are busy thinking about why it will not work, versus let me go try it, what will it cost me? You're not making money now, so why not try? At least you know you work hard to get your money before you go on site. Number 6 strategy in this pre-selling thing. Remember, we are talking in this whole series, we are going to be talking about 15 different pillars for you to monetize your movie. We are still on this video talking about only one pillar, which is how to pre-sell your movie before you make it. And I'm giving you 10 different strategies under that one pillar. I don't want you to be confused. The 6th strategy that we can use to pre-sell the movie before you make it is what I call fan crowdfunding and founders club. Your fans are not just viewers. They are micro investors. A lot of our big, especially those artists that have a lot of fans, you could make a pre-production monetization move on them and get a lot of your money, if not all. And how do you do this? Again, remember, this whole series is just intro. We're going to have a full 6 weeks class, certification class, what I call monetization certification class, where all of this, we're even going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. We have monetization, pre-production monetization might take 3 days out of that training. So today I'm summarizing it in a 1-hour presentation. So how do you do this? In short, you build an email list, or a WhatsApp list, or a Telegram list from your skits, your previous films, your social media. A lot of you have 1 million people, 2 million people following you on Instagram, and you left them there. That's why you're not really maximizing them. But you want to harness them into a group, either an email list or a WhatsApp group, because that is where you can market them repeatedly. That's, you can market them on a close and personal level. Imagine, say, an Iniedo who has, I don't know, 10 million followers right now, or a Funke Akindele and co, building up a WhatsApp group. She probably can have 100, or maybe go to Telegram. That has no limit. And then now maybe she has 200,000 people there on a Telegram list. Now she can engage them on one-on-one, which is different from the kind of engagement you get on Instagram. It's different from what you get on Facebook. And then she can then launch a founders club. It will be like a lower tier, small amount of for name in credits, private online screening, BTS access. You can list several things that will go into what we call the Founders Club. They are going to get exclusive access to some of things. Then you give them, you put their name as credit as people funded the movie in your end credits. They get a private online screening when it comes out. They get BTS access. That can be your lower tier. Then you can have a higher tier of the Founders Club who pay a bigger amount. They get invited for a VP premiere, special invitation for VP premiere, a signed poster, maybe even a cameo appearance in your movie if they want, producer credits, and on and on. You can sit down and come up with those stuff, and they pay you. It can be one-off payment, it can be monthly payment, especially for those who make movies all the time, like Funke Akindele and Co. You can have a Founders Club. Just being on that Founders Club, they pay a certain amount every month. It's not something too big. For the VIP part of your Founders Club, it could be 10,000 naira a month. For the lower level, it could be 1,000. Not big money, but if you rack them up, imagine that you rack up 200,000 people in your Founders Club, and they're only paying $1,000 and 1,000 naira. Do you know how much that is a month? That's 200 million. It sounds insane. Meaning that you can even make it 1,000 naira a year, 100 naira every month. That's 200 million monthly. I'm going to say it again. You have 5 million followers, 3 million followers. What you want to do is you want to launch a Founders Club with benefits. You have 2 or 3 levels of them: gold, silver, and bronze. And then you have benefits that they get in the Founders Club. Maybe those on your silver level, on your gold level, they pay maybe 5,000 a year, 5,000 a month, 1,000 naira a month, whatever you think your fans will be able to pay. You can determine that. But personally, I would say that the VIP level probably just 5,000 naira a month. And anybody's on that VIP level, they get invited to a VIP premiere of my movie in a hall. It doesn't have to be in the theater. The theater will say they want to charge them. Remember, you are bringing them as a special VIP team. All it will cost is get a hall where your movie is coming out and get all of them to come watch it for free. That's it. But every month they're paying you 5,000 naira or 10,000 or 2,000, depending on your level and your followership. And your goal every time you are posting on Instagram and all that is for them to join your Founders Club. And your goal might be, for those of you who have millions of followers, I need to get 100,000 people in my VIP Founders Club in the next 1 year. You can get it done if you offer enough benefits. VIP premiere, they're going to get a side poster from you every time your movie comes out. They get to have a production dinner with you one time. Whatever, you can list it up. They are your fans. They want access to you. And for that, many will be willing to pay that money. And it will be auto pay. They agree it's 5,000 naira a month. It comes out of the account every month automatically. Then you have a lower level for your more intimate but poorer followers. It can be 1,000 naira a month. It can be 500. It can even be 100 naira. The important is for you to give them benefits. They're going to get private online screening. They get access to private online screening. They get a special link to be able to join. They get BTS access for your movies before you show it, or exclusive ones that you're not going to release to the whole world. It's only going to go to your Founders Club members, so that when you are shooting your movie, you are making that one separate. So there'll be somebody on set, the cameraman, that is for a Founders Club, a cameraman. All he's doing is the special BTS for your Founders Club. The best part. So you list that. So you have these clubs. They are the ones that will be funding your movie through their memberships. And gladly too. So you don't have to go be raising money and running up and down. Imagine if you only have 10,000 steps after 1 year. 10,000 members. For those of you who are high level, all those followers I'm seeing, I try to sell it to one of the big names, follow that around, even follow that to club, just to try to get her to come in so that we can do this. At the end of the day, but she was talking, we couldn't get anything sorted. And that person had, at that point, at that time, over 5 million followers. I could have been making up millions of money, maybe 50, 100 million every month without any sweat. Because all we would do is gather our people into a mailing list, and to a Telegram group and start a founders club. She will address them. She will sell it herself. They will buy it. They won't buy it from me, but they buy it from their fan, and they will manage it for her. But you can do that yourself. I'm putting it out there. The result of this is hundreds and thousands of fans, each paying small amounts, can raise millions and become your loudest marketing army. And because you're your founders club, when your movie is coming out, they are the ones that will promote it the most. Is their movie, remember, they are the first that will get the first cut of it. Either it's going to be online, exclusive online screening that you're doing to make sure that it's only them that come in and watch it online, or exclusive in one hall, like an event, a big event. Not all of them will come, even if you have 100,000. When you announce this thing, most of them are not going to even be in Lagos. Maybe 1,000 will show up, and you get the hall that can accommodate them. And you're done. It is an immense opportunity that it just amazes me that we don't have, or at least I don't know of it, many of our stars attempting this. How many of you have Founders Club? Whether you're a producer, director, or actor who has some name out there, and for those who don't have name yet, you might not be able to use this yet, but you start working your way towards it. It doesn't take a lot of time. That's all I'm going to say about that. Of course, when we do the full certification class, we're going to break it down a little bit more. This is me giving you a summary of it. It looks like I'm taking time, but this is summary coming from me. So imagine what my real workshop looks like. I'm a very, very thorough person when it comes to things like this, because I believe you can't learn stuff. Somebody's just talking for 2 minutes, not explaining himself. You're not going to get it. Okay, let's get to number 7, so that I want to make sure this is not more than 90 minutes for this session 1. We still have 10 more sessions to go. So let's strategy number 7 here that you can use. We are still on pillar number 1, which is how to pre-sell your movies or to make money with your movies before you actually make them. Again, I'd like to repeat myself, because I'm in the teaching mode now. This is not me ranting. This is training mode, and I'm very different than when I'm ranting. So I repeat myself a lot to make sure that everybody gets it. So don't be offended if it looks like I'm repeating myself. It is part of my own teaching strategy. So strategy number 7 under this pillar, first pillar of pre-selling your movie, is that you can also pre-sell through what I call producer and artist funnel pre-sales. This is where your personal brand and the fame of your cast, because I know all of you also cast because of the fame of the actors, can be turned into pre-sold tickets. What's your pre-production monetization move here? You use your YouTube, your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook, your podcast, and email list to pre-sell cinema tickets, paid online premiere access, and special bundles. You can offer watch party packs for families, campus clubs, offices. The result is that when your film drops, you already have money in the bank and guaranteed first week viewers. In other words, you're telling them to pre-buy ticket. Maybe your ticket is going to be 5,000 naira. You're probably giving a discount of 20% or whatever, or even selling it at full price, or even more than the cinema price, because you are adding extra curricular, extra benefits, that maybe now you're going to be there in person with them, or you're going to give them some gifts. There's so many other gifts you can think of that will not cost you money, or that will not cost you a lot of money, that those who pre-buy your ticket will get that benefit. And you can pre-sell that. It's called watch party packs. Now, for a family of 5, maybe they pay the price of 3 people. That kind of thing. And you can even work out this with the cinemas to agree with you, or you have your own halls where you're going to be doing these showings, at least during that initial release. You can do it with campus clubs, which means you take it to campus or they come to the cinemas with it. So campus clubs can pre-buy special packages. So a club in Unilag, for instance, you can tell them to pre-buy maybe 100 tickets, and if you buy the 100, they get this discount, or they pay full price and get these additional benefits. that everybody else will not get. It's a matter of sitting down and working out the modalities. But the reason why you are doing it is that you have pre-sold hundreds of thousands of tickets so that you know with the almost reasonable certainty the percentage that will come and watch your first week viewers. I'll leave that here because my time is running out. I don't want to explain. When you come to the full workshop, we will break that down, complete with details, complete with helping you to work out the different gift offers that you can give to make that strategy work. Strategy number 8 of pillar number 1, educational and training rights. Now, this is the educational angle of your movie now. If your story can teach something, like law, entrepreneurship, cybercrime, domestic violence, history, then schools, NGOs, and HR departments can license it. Oh, yeah. And here is your pre-production monetization move here. You can build a simple study guide or discussion guide and position the film as a training material. And then you pre-sell licenses of it to universities, film schools, private schools, especially secondary schools, NGOs, corporate training departments. So one film becomes cost content, not just entertainment. You might be hearing to me and say, this man is just talking theory, this is not practical. You'll be surprised what you can do when you get to think about it. And remember, I'm teaching 10 different ways to pre-monetize your book and your movie. Some will not be practical to you, and that's okay. Some may not apply to the movie you are making, and that's okay. The important thing is for you to be thinking about it. And if you can implement 3 of these strategies out of these 10 to pre-sell your movie, you'll be okay. No matter how little you raise, it's better than 0 that you raised last time. And that's the way I want you to think of this. Again, that's all I'm going to say there. We'll develop that in the full workshop. Number 9, merchandise and extended universe pre-orders. I love this one. If your film has strong characters, slogans, and aesthetics, you can pre-sell merchandise. Oh, yeah, you can pre-sell it. You just haven't tried it. What's your move here? You can design mock-up of T-shirts, caps, posters, mugs, or art prints tied to key characters or lines. It's like that franchise that Funke has, the Jennifer franchise. She could pre-sell and pre-sell and pre-sell all this merchandise all day long if you set her mind to it. You can run pre-order campaigns to fund part of your production and test which ideas resonate. This is remember this whole session 1 is about pre-selling your movie. So you can run pre-order campaigns for this. Oh, that Jennifer's merchandise is coming out 1st of January. People can pre-order and you get 20% off, 10% off, whatever hook you want to put in there, so that you can raise some money for your production. You haven't shot it. Remember, this is pre-production. And any money coming in here is part of the money that you apply towards your production. The result of this is that you know what fans want before you release. And you already have some merchandise money on ground. How can you lose? How can you lose? Just try. Especially for those of you who have strong characters. That's why I always tell some of my producers, you don't want to have one-off characters. You want to have characters that you can develop into a franchise. That's how they do mostly abroad. But I have producers in Nigeria. There was one lady I was trying to convince to do part 2 of one of our very hit movie. She's like, no, you don't want to do part 2 of this. That kind of movie is too good. A part 2 will spoil it. A part 3 will spoil it. I'm like, what? You already saw the movie. Even if the part 2 doesn't work or part 3 doesn't work, what do you have to lose? But you are building that character, just like Funke is one of the few. Funke Akindele is one of the few artists who understand that concept. And remember, it's not surprising. I used to manage her more than 10, 15 years ago, right? All those ideas are what we talk about. Build Jennifer into a franchise. I remember some of our colleagues were trying to mock her for going to go do Jennifer too. And I'm like, and I told her, don't worry about them. If this Jennifer becomes a franchise, you will chop it and chop it until you are dead. And even when you are dead, your children and your relatives will chop the money. Look at Jennifer today. And somebody will say she should not make another. No, you have to make 10 more. These Fantastic Four people? Marvel. They created that's all they have. And they started cross-posting their characters. Because every release of that movie creates more fans for the next one. That's how Marvel got to where they got to. Because they don't do one-off characters. They created the Marvel universe. And they know every time a Marvel movie is coming out, I'm one of those guys that go and line up. I'm so much in love with that franchise. I don't care which one of them they are bringing out. I pre-buy and I go there early to go and line up. It's like when we used to buy Michael Jordan shoes. One of those guys that line up for a whole day. I don't care that I'm old. I'm there. 5 a.m. in the morning, I want to get the shoes first. Same way with Marvel movies, because I'm a big fan. So why can't you have your own? The final one I want to talk about here is events, workshops, and masterclass bundles. This might sound esoteric to you, but your movie is not just a story. You got to get that. Your movie is not just a story. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Your movie is not just a story. It is expertise. It is experience. So your pre-production monetization move here is to tie the film to workshop, master classes, and keynote talks, for instance. For a fraud movie, you can tie it to anti-scam training. A startup film, you can tie it into entrepreneurship boot camp. You don't even have to be the one that is running it. You can promote those workshops, events, and master classes in your movie or on your YouTube channel when you start to put it on YouTube later. Because the real money is made on YouTube. A lot of people didn't know that. In selling stuff, in selling books, in selling training, that is where 70% of the money is made. But because people are not educated on how to monetize YouTube, they're only waiting on views. When we teach YouTube monetization, which is a big part of the monetization universe that I'm going to be teaching, I'll blow your mind away. There's like at least 10 to 12 ways to monetize YouTube beyond getting views. Views is even the least income generator on YouTube, if you know what you're doing. But let's come back here. So you tie events, workshops, and masterclass bundles to your movie. Either you are the one that is running it, or you partner with those who have those trainings already. If you have a marriage drama, it can be marketing relationship seminars. A startup movie, some entrepreneurship bootcamp. And you can sell these packages to brands, schools, churches, HR units before the film is out. Or encourage those who do that to give you some money for you to feature their training in your movie at the end. Or even work it into the story. It don't matter. The important thing is the money. If somebody has a strong entrepreneurship bootcamp that he's doing, you can approach them and say, this movie you are making is excellent for to get students for them, because it's about a startup movie, about somebody starting a business startup movie. So that their entrepreneurship bootcamp is perfect for people who would like this movie, who would like to do entrepreneurship. So that you can put their movies at the end of the movie, in between the movie, or wherever, or work their into your movie. Someone like me will pay you if you will pay you if you have something that has to do with digital entrepreneurship. If your movie is resonant with that, I'll pay money to advertise my projects in there. Seriously. Because most of those who would like those type of movies are those who would like entrepreneurship. They are talking about a movie where people will get scammed. You can have training on anti-scamming, especially for the corporate part of it. If it's a marriage drama that has family and stuff, themes in it, a lot of people who love that movie will be interested in relationship seminars. They can be packaged either as a story worked into your movie, or as something that is advertised at the end, or even something that is even the brochure that they get when they come to watch your movie at the cinema. But somebody pays for that. You pre-monetize. So that the result is that if pure box office underperforms, the knowledge behind the topic of the film will still sell. That is the whole idea. Now you get 10 ideas about how to do this first pillar that we started with. Let's go back to that, which is pillar number 1, how to pre-sell your movie before you produce it. It's called pre-production monetization. And I think if many of us start thinking about it, rather than continue to do things the old way, maybe the story of our income from our movies will change. The new rule of monetization now, the new rule of monetization is if you haven't sold it, you have not had the right to shoot it. Because if you shoot it and you don't make money, you don't get more money or you get bankrupt. If you haven't pre-sold it, you haven't had the right to shoot it. Every Nollywood project going forward should start with one simple document: monetization blueprint. How this film will make back its money before and after production. Imagine you're coming to me or an investor to come and invest in your movie. Apart from going with your beautiful story or script or screenplay that you want to show him, you also now say, here is the monetization blueprint. If you put 50 million on this movie, if you put 10 million, if you put 20 million, whatever you're going to ask for, here is how we plan to make your money back and a lot more for you. Here is the monetization blueprint to go with it. And I'm reading that and I'm seeing some of the strategy. For instance, we've just taught one pillar. So I see that pillar there, and you talk about your monetization, pre-production monetization. And I'm seeing some of the stuff you have done or that you're going to do to make the money. And then I see 2 or 3 other pillars that we have not talked about yet. I mentioned that we're going to be going to 15 pillars to monetize your movie. If I see 4 or 5 of those explained in detail, possibly some of them you've already done, and so you have receipts to show that this is something you worked on, then I'm not thinking I'm taking a wild risk giving you money. Now, it still doesn't mean I will get my money when the movie comes out, but at least now I know there's a better chance than you just running up and down later and be telling me one story. So this blueprint, this monetization blueprint that should accompany your movie, to clearly state with 3 to 5 pre-production monetization strategies that you will use. How much of the budget you aim to pre-cover. Your movie is going to be 10 million. How much of it are you going to pre-cover before you even go to set? 30 to 70%? Which audiences and buyers are you targeting? Who on your team is responsible for your movie monetization manager? That is key. There has to be somebody on your team that is responsible for your movie monetization, because there's a lot of moving parts. Somebody has to coordinate that. Once you think like this, all the other pillars, distribution pyramid, the formal storytelling, direct-to-fan models, YouTube marketing, global dubbing, that I'm still going to cover in the remaining 14 pillars, they become multipliers of a project that was already financially intelligent from day one, which is the key. You want your project to be financially intelligent from day one before you even approach anybody to give you money. It's called selling it before you produce it. That is how Nollywood will turn creativity into sustainable, repeated, and predictable profit. Because you do your monetization plan well. And remember, again, we've only talked about one pillar in all this video. There's 14 more to come. Hopefully, you go through the 14 sessions. 15 sessions is going to be 15 movies, videos, 15 sessions. You have a clear idea. And when you attend my workshop, I have a 6 weeks workshop on movie monetization certification program. It's going to be 6 weeks, and we're going to cover all these pillars in granular detail, complete with a workbook and complete with a manual that you can take home, and you know from there you can begin to work it. I'm not saying it's going to be automatic from day one for you to be able to get this, but at least now you know what you don't know. Now you know what you need to do to make your money. Some of us are already doing some of this stuff. Way back 15, 20 years ago, Kule Afolayan is already executing some of this pre-monetization before he goes to set. I know because he came to me when I was MD of Dove Media. He just came back from London then. And he was talking about me preparing for a movie that he's going to make. And he was telling me some of this, a couple of these strategies I thought he was trying to execute it with me. And so I know he was knowledgeable about that. You hardly ever hear him complain about making loss in a movie. Today, no. Why? Because he does his pre-monetization very well. He's very strong on it. Moabudu is very strong on it. If you look at all those who are doing very well, trust me, their pre-production monetization game is a level game. They know the game. And most of them are even only pursuing only one or two options. But they don't go on set until they've had some level of success in that. Not just going to go borrow money or invest money for people to go and make movie. They try to make the money of the movie before they go on set. And you two can play the game now. I'm blowing the whistle on it. It shouldn't be the Kule Afolayan. It shouldn't be the Moabudus of this world that are getting that 100 million, 200 million. That is not investment in their movie, but that is a pre-monetization of their movie. Because there are two different things. Getting somebody to invest in your movie where he's expecting profit from you as a partner is different from monetizing pre-production. That money is yours for your movie. They are not sharing profit with you thereafter. They are not your partners. It is money, like money that somebody paid for advert and all that. So now that you know, with this short presentation, which is a summary presentation of how to pre-sell your movies, at least you can start. And hopefully, my 6 weeks workshop, you sign up for it. It's not free. The 6-week workshop is not free. It's only for serious producers. If you're interested, inbox me and I will tell you the price and the dates. And in the next session, maybe we'll put the link there for those of you who want to pre-register. Again, this is Dr. Ope Banwo. I can always say, if you don't do it, you cannot know. We need to change the game. The Nollywood of yesterday will make a movie and then be thinking about how you will make the money. The Nollywood of today, if you're going to survive, you have to think how you will make the money before you go and shoot the movie. And some of the money you will make pre-production. Some of them, you're going to be, most of it. I've just taught you pillar one. Pillar one is the one that you make before you go and make the movie. The other 14 pillars I want to make after the movie is out. But you have your plan before you go and release a movie. So now you have to have your monetization blueprint for both the pre-production monetization and the post-production monetization. Have it ready before you shoot so that it gives you comfort level. Whether you are spending your money or spending somebody else's money, at least you have a plan. And you have a team that as you are shooting movie and editing movie, there's a team that is executing that side. A lot of Nollywood houses, Nollywood production firms, they may have 20 staff, but they don't have anybody that chases monetization for them. That's to tell you they're not thinking about it. And they wonder why they're not making money. If you're a production house, you have 20 staff, there should be at least 2 or 3 people. Their job in life is to execute monetization strategies. Hopefully you get all my 15 sessions. It's free session. You can see you're listening to it. And then come to the workshop class, the one where we roll up our sleeves and actually execute it, where you execute it with the movie in your hand right now. Because in that 6 weeks workshop, we have practical classes. Every week, the class will meet twice a week. And then you have a take-home assignment. Your take-home assignment is a practical to practicalize the strategies we learned that week. So that way, you are practicing it as you are going. After a while, you're going to master some of them. You're not going to master all 15 pillars, but if you can master 3 to 5, then you don't have anxiety about making your movie anymore. So it's going to take work. I know there's nothing like that is free. You're going to do the work. And I know you can do the work. because we shoot at 12 midnight, right? So why wouldn't you be able to spend 4 hours a day chasing your money, having a team that is trained? That's why, so if you have somebody on your team that you want to train as a movie monetization manager, you want to send them to my workshop. I'm going to be starting one in January 2026, 6 weeks. The first one, I will take them through the practicals of every one of these 15 pillars I'm going to be teaching. Today is pillar number 1. For those of you who are just watching this, and all we have done today is to talk about how to pre-sell your movie before you produce it. It's an introduction to that module in our 6 weeks class. I'm going to be breaking it down in a 4-hour session. Just this part, but how to do it and all that. I look forward to seeing you in session 2 of the movie monetization. Where is my ultimate topic here? Movie monetization in Nollywood. Yes, movie monetization in Nollywood. Today is session 1, strategies for pre-selling your movie before you shoot it. In the next session, which is session 2 of this, we are going to be talking about crowdfunding your movies. Many of you have never had that before. You have had it, but it's never been executed. But in session 2, I'm going to be taking you through a summary about how and why you should crowdfund your movies and let your fans pay for your movie. That will be in session 2 of this 15-session series of movie monetization in Nollywood. I'll see you there. I'm out.